Hello everyone, this is Betsy from Ideas Times 2, and today I have a tutorial. Welcome to our channel. I appreciate you so much. So let's get started with this tutorial. Today we're going to work with our jelly plate. So now I haven't done any research, but I know there are ways, if you don't have a jelly plate, there are ways you can do these kinds of paint transfers. So basically what a jelly plate is, it's just a soft gelatin-like material, and you spread paint or you make textures on it using a roller called a brayer. And you normally, I've seen, this is maybe the next video, I don't know, but using alcohol inks would be amazing too. Maybe we'll even try that today, depending on how long this takes me. So anyway, but normally you just use like little dabs of acrylic paint. So I have a bunch of paint here picked out. I've got my brayer, my jelly plate, and today we're working with leaves. So I want to get to the point where we go ahead and make a print similar to this. I wanted to use leaves because it's fall and there's so many leaves still here. I live in Ohio. There aren't a lot that are turning yet, but they are, they're starting to turn, and it's starting to get cool at night, so that's very exciting. I love that. And I was able to pull a bunch of leaves today, all green ones still. You could use ones that have fallen as well, as long as they're not too crunchy. In fact, the fallen ones might work better because they're not as textured. It's not the right word, but they're flatter. I guess flatter is the thing. So anyway, I pulled a bunch of leaves, so let's get started. The first thing I want to show you how to show you is to actually how to put the color on the plate, and then we're going to go ahead and make a print like this. So let's do it. Let's do it. And we'll do a couple prints, and I'll show you how I got to that other one eventually here. And I really like a grungy look. These aren't, well, jelly plate isn't really a very scientific sort of thing. It is sort of a free-flowing art form, and so that's kind of the look we're going for. All right, so that one, I'm going to, so this one will be a high contrast with the leaves. So I'm trying to think of, I might do some green. So this is the thing, you just need to experiment with color. What you're thinking might look cool, and then the more you do it, of course, the easier it's going to get as far as decisions go, like what am I going to choose. I think I might use this too. This is a metallic paint, so that might be kind of fun to add in there, even though I have a little bit of brown already, but we'll just put a few touches of that. Okay, I think that's it. So then what you do is you just start spreading. So mine is kind of an overall color. I'm going to start very lightly. Like if you press too hard, then you're going to get the edges and you're going to have lots of lines in there, which is also not a bad look. It's fine. Not a bad look at all. Oops. Now my paint is in the way, so let me scooch that out of the way. And I'll try to put this up a little farther too. You can go sideways, you can go up and down, you can go diagonally, doesn't matter, as long as you're filling and spreading that paint the way you want to. And I think I'll leave it maybe just a little streaky. And like I said, my jelly plate is full of imperfections. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and use these. These are ones that I've used before, and I'm just going to place the leaves directly on the paint. You can go right side up or wrong side up, it doesn't matter. If you go wrong side up, you get more of a negative impression, a deeper impression to be sure. But it has a different look to it. I'll see if I can find a few sheets that show you that. So I think I'm going to kind of make some coming off of the paper. This one is one I haven't played with yet. And I just made some fingerprints, so I'm going to try to get those off of there. I was trying to just lay them down without doing anything. Okay, and then you're going to take some paper. So let me grab some paper. And this is just regular copy paper. Oh, actually, this is 28-pound paper, so it's a little bit heavier than copy paper, but you can use whatever paper you'd like. You can put it on watercolor paper, cardstock. You can even put it on printed cardstock if you have a fun color. But you just have to know that the paint is not going to cover completely the design. And that's a fun look too. But today we're just going to start with white paper. So many ways, so many different things you can do. So get your fingers, really rub those stems, all the things that you can feel with your fingers, the edges of the leaves. Just really rub that in. If you want to, don't go to the edge if you want just sort of a fuzzy sort of edge, but I'm just kind of getting it all. And do this for, you know, a good little bit, so that you pull up as much paint as possible. Okay, so we're going to try it. Let's see what we got. We should have nice white spots where those leaves were. And then a fun background. Okay, and I had one leaf stick. That's no problem, just pull it off. All right, so that's what we have. And I think these kinds of prints would be fun to do mixed media. You could fill this in with some different things. There is another thing you could do with that too. You could actually tape it down and then pull these up. Maybe we'll do that next. So anyway, I'm going to do a secondary print now, and it's going to look more like this one here. This is the secondary print. Sometimes it's called a ghost print. So my chair is really squeaky. It's really getting bad. Okay, so you can see how pretty that's going to be already. So I'm just going to put my paper down, rub it really well. And of course you have to do that before the paint dries, because otherwise it won't pull up on your paper. There is a solution to that too. If you let the paint dry totally, you can come back in with a very thin layer of a different color and then pull the print, and that thin layer of paint that you put down sort of reactivates the paint underneath, and that the leaves should pull back up again. Okay, so let's pull this, see what we got. We should have a really nice kind of a shadow print, and these, I love these so much. Okay, so there's those prints. And you could use, these are just so beautiful. Like you could make these cut around them, use them separately. You could now spray ink spray. You could do so many things with these, but I think that turned out really great. I'm super happy with that. And so that's very similar to this one. I can show you the flaws on this one. I didn't rub long enough the first time around when I pulled this one. So this is the shadow print of this one. So when I rubbed this one, I didn't rub it long enough. I didn't get all the paint up, and so there's still some residue paint around these leaves, but I think it still turned out great. You can always work with these things, right? All right, so there's those. Now we're going to show you how to do this print here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make a background. Just totally make a background. And I think I'm going to add some texture to it. Now you can clean off this jelly plate, but if you're going to be working with similar colors and you like the, the randomness, then you can leave it on, because there might be a few little spots here and there that are going to come up, but you can definitely clean it off. And what I like to do is just grab some baby wipes and clean it off. So now comes another fun print. We're going to pull this print real quick. So many things you could do with these. It's so fun to experiment. I would love to do like a magazine transfer. That would be my next, that might be my next project. All right, so that's cleaned off. And yeah, just count on the fact that your fingers are going to get dirty. Okay, so now this worked out really well when I did a very light background and then put a dark color over the top. And I'll explain that in a minute. Or you could do a really dark background and do a light on top, but I think this is going to work the best. So we're going to go ahead and do a light background. So, light background. What do we want to use? Let's do some traditional colors for leaves, because this is what's going to show. So now this is the background, and it might peep through on your dark color that you're going to put on top, but the leaves are going to be this color. So this base color are what the leaves are going to be. So we're going to go ahead and just put some lighter, brighter type colors, and then we're going to go dark after that. I don't know if I shook this one earlier, so let me shake that. And I'm also going to add some texture as far as some stamps go. This one I did not put any stamps or texture under there. It's just the color, that turquoisey color with a little white and a little gold. So that was what I put on the back of that one. Okay, so but now, another thing I should mention is that we need to clean this off on a regular basis. I have a scrap piece of paper here, and I'll roll the paint off on that. Oh, you can see my leaves too there. Let me scooch this over a little bit. So this is my scrap paper, and I'll just roll. Let me move these leaves so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll just roll the excess paint off on here in between projects, but this totally dried. So I'm just cleaning this off with a baby wipe. And it's kind of important to do that, otherwise it does get a buildup, and it's quite hard to get off, and it doesn't work properly either. But you can see the brayer itself is that reddish color there. Kind of rusty. Okay, but this is pretty good. We'll just leave it like that. Okay, now get back to this. So I'm gonna just kind of get all these to blend together. The red is predominant. I wasn't really planning on that, but I think it'll be pretty anyway. So very lightly on the brayer. I think a bigger brayer would actually be kind of nice, but this is what I got. It's very bright. We'll see what happens. Okay, and then I'm going to brush the excess off, I'm going to roll the excess off here. Okay, now you're going to want a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper. So let's do that. And I can see I've got some, oops, my roller's not rolling. That's a problem. I have some white spaces. It's just the way it's going to be, though, I can tell. That's fine. All right, let's just do it. Now this, I grabbed a piece of cardstock, not really for any certain reason, but I did grab cardstock this time. Now if you're going to make a journal cover, cardstock might be nice, but you can certainly use paper too. Okay, so that's very bright, isn't it? I did not intend for that to be that bright. Okay, so it did wind up to be super red, but let this dry thoroughly, which the paint is really thin, and so it is very dry already. All right, so the next step to making this into a leaf print is to get your leaves. So I found a bunch and press them down. This is sticky. Like, I don't know if you've ever worked with it, but if you haven't, this is a very sticky surface, and so hopefully they'll lay pretty flat, because that's kind of important. It's easier to work with when they're very flat. Okay, and I'm just going to put them sort of every which way. Most of these are sweet gum. It's kind of what I had. You can use, like I said, you can use the leaves that have fallen already, or some newer leaves like these. All right, so then what we're going to do is put a dark color over this. So I know it sounds it's a little daunting, right? But something that's going to contrast with our, like I was calling it, this is the leaf color, right? So we need a background, something that's going to contrast highly with the leaf color. So I'm going to put some drops right on the leaves and around the leaves. So this is, I thought it was black, but it's a dark gray, and I think that'll be pretty. So a little bit like that. What else should we put on? Maybe a dark brown. Actually, white or a light color would be a sharp contrast too, but I think this would be even more so. So we're gonna work with it. So this is actually a metallic, little copper. Okay. All right, so now get that working. Yeah, for a while. So the easiest way I found to do this is to sort of start on the leaf and then work outwards from the leaves so they don't shift. And if you need to hold it down with your finger, that works too. Had to do that many times. But it just, so you're not catching the corners, just work outward from the leaf. Make sure you get the paint all around the edges of the leaf, on top of the leaf, because we're going to get some veining if we make sure the color's on top of the leaf as well. Otherwise it would just be a leaf shape, but we want the veining on there too. So that might be a little too much, but we'll find out, and we'll learn together if that was a mistake that I just made. Okay, so yeah, I can't even see that leaf hardly. All right, so I'm gonna get around the edges a little bit better. Although it doesn't matter too much, and it's gonna have a nice look to it anyway. There's a spot there that had no paint, so we want to make sure to get some paint on there. So you have to work a little bit quickly because we don't want it to dry, right? Make sure to clean off your brayer real quick. And then we're going to put our red on there. We're going to put our background, or our leaf color. I was calling it leaf color, and then I stopped for some reason. Okay, and then we're going to really press it down. You could also use your brayer. I kind of prefer to use my fingers with the leaves especially, so I can kind of feel the edges. Well, I can't really feel the edges too much, but I can feel the veining. So we're going to do that. Get it real well, because you don't want to be disappointed when you pull it up. I mean, it's a learning curve. It's a process, right? And I put so much paint like on the outside edge that it's getting on my fingers. But this is the back. There's a front and a back, right? Okay, really trying to get around the edges and the stems. Okay. All right, so now we're going to lift it up and see what we got. All right, there's our leaf print. Very excited with that. So you can see the veining. That's because we put paint on top of the leaves as well. And then some of the red in the background, it peeps through, and I really, really like that. But we have good definition, and I'm super happy with that. That's awesome. So let that dry. Okay. All right. So then we're going to lift up the leaves. Even the leaves look pretty cool, don't they? I think they look pretty cool. And then we're going to clean this up. Just take our baby wipe. Clean it up. Okay, and then we're going to make one more of this type here. Except we're going to put another little twist to it. So let's do that. I like to put twists in things, huh? Okay, so clean that off. Like I said, if it doesn't bother you to have little splotches here and there, just leave it the way it is. Okay, so now let's try, let's try sort of, we're gonna try, okay, that's kind of a lot of paint, but we're gonna work with it. We're gonna do that, and then this is a metallic blue. It's kind of an electric blue. Let's try this. Oops, I got a lot of oil. Let's see if that, let me see if this worked. Okay, that worked. Get my leaf, but I do have to wipe this up. It's kind of a cool gel, whatever that was. Resin, maybe? This is gonna be pretty. All right, and then should we do maybe just a few touches of this lighter teal? I've got a lot of paint on here already, though. You can see how the paint really goes a long way. So I do think I have a lot of paint on there. Especially that giant tube, it was hard to tell how much was coming out. This might have a little black residue on it, but I think that'll be fine too. All right, let's do it. Ooh, this reminds me, ooh, 60s? 60s maybe, huh? So pretty. Okay, I think just for something fun, might just leave it like that. Another cool effect would be to do ombre, right? Like a darker to a lighter, and that would be really cool too. All right, so we're going to pull this print, but before we do, this is going to be the little extra thing. So I'm going to take, I have a bunch of stamps out here, script, music, numbers. I have sort of a map kind of thing, and a tiny leaf, and some just random, just very random. You can use textured anything. You could use bubble wrap, that kind of thing. Whatever you have. Fact is, I was using, I have, I don't know where it went. Oh yeah, I have a glue stick. I was just using that for circles. Let's do a couple circles. So this is before it dries. And I have a lot of paint on there, a lot. So I'm trying to be careful with like it's like shifting on me when I put the stamp down, so I'm trying to be very careful. Okay, so I'm just really just lots of texture. Now the numbers and letters are going to be backwards when you pull the print, but I think it's a fun texture. Okay, get some more of that on there, and some music. Gotta have music. And these numbers, which are going to be, like I said, they're going to be backwards, but I think they're fun to have on there. Little shadow numbers. This tiny leaf. I'm just filling it with all kinds of stuff. Oh, and I have like this crackle. I have no idea where I got that, but I kind of messed up. I kind of messed up because it sort of shifted on me. Smeared right up here, but it'll be fine. Okay. So obviously you want to clean off your stamps as quickly as you can too, but I'm going to pull this print. And like I said, you can use the brayer for this. You can tell my brayer's not clean, so it's leaving some marks, but front and back, right? Front and back. Uh-oh, that's not good. I'd have to fix that before I put the leaves on. And I just got my hands full of green. All right. All right, let's pull this off. And we have some great colors and textures on there. All right, now we're gotta let that dry. Like I said, I had tons of paint on there. So I'm gonna clean up and try to fix this, okay? And then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I think I fixed this, at least temporarily. You know, we'll see how it goes. If not, I will just find something around or just use my hand and just keep going. All right, so got my stamping done. I did not clean off my stamps though. I'm gonna do that real quick before it totally dries. It'll be fine though. They can still be cleaned with a soft toothbrush. Some soapy water. All right, so hopefully this will be fine. So I put a lot of leaves on there. You can reuse leaves too. I just wasn't sure how much of the black would come off, since I did use black with them last time, so I just didn't experiment even. I didn't want to experiment, I just used fresh leaves. So I picked brown again and black, and then I think I'm gonna put some of that copper in there. So make sure you get it on the leaves and outside. Oh yeah, that's right, this wasn't black either, it was dark gray. Totally forgot that. It's a good color. I do have black too, but it's a good color. Worked pretty well. I think it's so cute, like some of these leaves have little, you know, little holes in them and stuff. I just think they're so cute. Okay. I maybe am putting too much paint, but I want to make sure that, yeah, I think this copper will be fun. Whoops, got a big glob there. I think the copper. I put more leaves on it, so it's a little bit more complicated too. I'm going to have to be careful when I do my roller. But it'll be worth it, right? It'll be worth it in the end. Where to start? I'm just going to flatten these and just start rolling from the center of the leaf kind of outward. And I'm going to just sort of roll them all down. Oh no, it did break. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I think I might just try to do it by hand here. So I'm just kind of making sure they're each sort of pushed down. I didn't do that very well at the beginning, and I should have pushed them down a little bit. Okay, this is going to be a mess for me, but that's all right. So this one pulled up, and it's fine. I didn't make a mess. It's my hands that are going to be a mess. Well, slated. Either I need to try to jerry-rig that back together using a paper clip or something, I don't know, or I need a new one. I might get a bigger one anyway. This is a lot harder to do it this way. I feel like I'm using a rolling pin. I'm rolling out my sugar cookies. So just be careful, try not to shift your leaves, and try to cover as much surface area as you can on the background of your plate and also on the leaves themselves so that you get a nice crisp outline. And This is kind of where it broke right here. Okay, and I don't know what it is about this print, but I did use a lot of paint on this one too. So beware, your paint goes far. I just put a little too much on there. So you can see it's mottled. So I have a little bit of I'm not mixing those paints to be one color. I kind of like the fact that they're going to be splotchy looking a little bit. Look at me taking care of my brayer, even though it's broken. Okay, now let me just clean my fingers off a little bit, and then we're going to pull this print. All right, let's do this. I see some spots that are maybe my fingernails. I'm not sure. But we want to get this before it dries, so I might just live with it. All right, let's do it. So remember, we're using this. And here we go. You take your time. I'll roll my sleeves up a little bit since I've got such a mess here. Take your time. Make sure all the leaves are pressed. Another thing that helps is to go different directions. All right, I think that's probably good. Let's check it out. All right, so there's this one here. Okay, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like that. And I thought I would hold it up real close so you can see the texture. You can see the circles and the script, maybe some music. There's some numbers on that one. So these leaves now are a little bit of a layered texture. And so those make it a little bit more interesting too. So I just thought I'd show you that real quick. I would say this is a little splotchy right here, but in general, I really like them. I think that looks good. So we made this one and this one. And of course we had this one at the beginning here. There's a twig on there. And then we had the shadow prints. We had this one, which I'd already made just to show you. And then this one that matches that one. So, and this was a mistake. I kind of like it though. All right. This one has so much paint, it is going to have to dry for a little bit. And I'm kind of glad I used cardstock on that one because it's on there pretty thick. All right, that's it for now. I wish I could, you know, magically have a nice print from this, but I can't. But those leaves always look cool when they have paint on them. All right, anyway, thank you guys for watching today, and take care, and we will catch you in the next video. Please be sure to check out our other platforms. We have Instagram, Facebook group, which we would love to have you join. Also, we have an Etsy shop, so check those all out. I'll list those down below, and have a great weekend. Bye.